I think one of the saddest things I think one of the saddest things about Mac Miller is that he died. I think that's the saddest part ultimately. But another thing is, you one of the silver linings, I guess, I don't know what else to say about this, but one of the silver linings to death in the music industry is at least they live on, right? At least their music lives on, and they have talks, and they're the toast of the town, and everybody talks about them for years to come, and they're kind of like Tupac. You can't keep their name out of your mouth. But there's just certain cases that don't get that recognition, that don't get that standalone recognition. Rather, they get bunched into a category, and that is overdose. And overdose has affected so many of our stars in America, and it has really affected us in a negative way. It kills people, right? But the thing about it is, you're not going to be talking about Mac Miller for years to come the same way we're going to be talking about, XXX Tentacion or just kind of like that. The deaths are the same, like they have the same impact, but there's just less to be said about an overdose. They, well, especially a purposeful overdose, not necessarily like an accidental overdose. There's a difference. I mean, you have like the people like I want to say the Joker, Heath Ledger. I want to say that was accidental. But at the same time, you don't know what's going through a person's head. You don't know at their final last minutes of their thoughts if they were drunk, even if you do know if they were drunk physically, you don't know what a person's thinking. So it's how do we know if this is accidental or not? I guess that'll come out. But apparently one of my friends said Mac Miller's dealing with some breakup or something. And yes.
That was a good idea going to Willard's. Thanks.
You're welcome.
We're gonna have some pretty serious rain coming through.
Make sure the windows are up. It really is like a reminder to, like, you don't even know how long life is going to last. Dude's 26 years old. I was going through this year kind of like, I was hearing Mac through the grapevine. I saw his latest video this year. I watched Mac Miller's latest video. I can't tell you what the name of it was, but it was kind of like Juice WRLD, where he's like poking his head through the thing there. He's poking his head through a coffin, or he's like living in a coffin getting buried alive. That's weird. I just realized, like, Mac Miller kind of like prophesied his own death in a sense. Maybe he was going through that breakup at that time. But it's almost like, are we going to sit around speculating about his death for years to come? Or are we just going to let it rest? Like we do with most depressed sort of people, like people that are openly, admittedly depressed, and they kind of, I don't know. In his case, he didn't really show a lot of depressive signs, publicly. He didn't really speak on this sort of stuff a whole lot. Fact is, man, this dude's too young. Too young, bro. It doesn't hit as bad as any other death. It doesn't hit as bad as Lil Peep. But I can guarantee you, man, it makes me feel just as sad. Rest in peace, Mac Miller. I love you, man.